Yeah, for the final and const keywords in that, they are both considered to be immutable types. That is, they do not change after they are being created. So let me give you a practical example of this. So I'm gonna say final, then a name. I'm gonna say food equal to, and I'm gonna say pizza. Yeah. Then I'm gonna come beneath this, and I'm gonna say print food, print food. If you run this, it's gonna run perfectly fine. So let's give it a little time. And you see, we have our pizza here. So how about if we want to override this? So if we want to override this, you know how we do it? It's food equal to, let me say, rice. So you see the error here, one issue on line 5. It says the final variable food can only be set once. Try making food non-final. So if you make this non-final, let me take for instance, this is a string here. So our type annotation is going to be a string. But if you want this to be inferred, you could go ahead using var. So it's still the same thing. So you see, we can override food here. So if we run food, you see our food is no longer pizza, but rather it's now rice. So let's go back and change this to final. So hope now you understand what I mean by final and const being immutable types. So immutable types, once they are being created, you can see I've created the food variable here. Once they are being created and assigned a value, the value can't be changed any longer. So you can't override the value any longer. Unlike you can override the value of a string type, an integer type, or any other data types. So that's how they operate. So let me change this to const. So const also performs the same function, but just a little bit difference between it and the final variable. So you can see the error here still on the same line 5. It says constant variables can be assigned a value. Try removing the assignment or removing the modifier const. So let's do this. So you're just going to have to comment this out. So what it simply means is that constant variables can be assigned new values once they are being created. So any other data type that string, integer, booleans, all those are mutable data types. You understand? So they can be changed. The value of the variables can be changed after they've been created. But for constant final, the values of their variables can be changed after they have been created. You understand? So whenever you want to use const or final, just have in mind that you want to make that variable unchangeable. You understand? So you don't want any other modification after creation. You understand? So the main point to catch here is that when variables are created using final, the variable becomes a runtime constant. Why, when variables are created using const, the variable becomes a compile time constant. So the difference between these is that one is a runtime constant and the other is a compile time constant. The const is a compile time constant, while the final is a runtime constant. So let me show you guys another example. So let me get rid of this. So now we know we can't change anything here. We can't change the value of this variable any longer. So this is const. So you could still go ahead giving this a type annotation. Again, a type annotation. This is acceptable by that. So take for instance, let's do away with this const. So take for instance, we had a string or okay, I've not taught you guys list, but let me just give an example using a list. So I'm still gonna show you guys and teach you guys about lists. So inside here, I'm gonna have a list of items, food items. So I'm gonna say the first one, pizza. Then the second, I set it to be rice. Then close this statement with a semicolon. So inside here right now, how about I was creating an application that I take in food orders. So once you've already ordered the food, you can change your order. Once an order has been placed and it's been confirmed by you, you can change that order. So how I'm going to simply do this is I'm going to make this immutable, whereby I can't change the value of the orders in the list in which I took from a customer. You understand? So inside, before the list type annotation, you're going to say final. we're gonna make mention of the final keyword. So this as it is right now, so I can't make modifications. So take for instance, if I want to make modifications like something like food with an index of 0. So index of 0 is the first index you see here. So I'm gonna say that to be equal to, let me change this to potato. So let me call this out, Ctrl X. So let me place this here, Ctrl V, close this with a semicolon. Then let me print food index 0. Then let's see what we get. Okay, I get potato. So like this, you can make modifications when you have final. Then after the final, you have a type annotation, then a variable name. You understand? But when there's const here, when there's const, let's run this. You see, when there's const, you can make modifications. So I hope right now you guys understand what I simply mean by compile time constant and runtime constant. So const is a compile time constant. What that means is that changes can be made the time of compilation. You understand? So when I run this, our code here is being compiled. So the time of compilation, we're trying to change this food in with an index of 0, food index 0 to potato. So it's totally wrong and unacceptable by const. But why using final? Final could run that for you. So when compiling during final, you can still make modifications like this. You understand? But const is so strict. So the difference there is that const is more strict with being immutable as to be compared to final. So that's the difference. So that's it. And you could also go ahead making your research and practicing this so that you have it handy with you. And see you in the next video.